What's up, nail geeks, and welcome to this year's annual breast cancer awareness box. This is a huge box that is so incredible, so beautiful and amazing, and has a badass purpose behind it. So if you're new around here, or if you're a veteran and you just want a little bit of refreshing, the BCA Breast Cancer Awareness Box is a box held and hosted by maker Chrissy of Hearts and Promises Polish. She is a breast cancer survivor herself, and she's been in remission for several years now. And this is her way of just spreading awareness and doing something really cool with things that I know we all love. And we also get to do a donation for this. So every year we have a massive group of makers that get together, and I swear every year the boxes just keep getting better and better and better. I am incredibly honored to be included in this year's lineup of swatchers to show you guys and present the box to you all. And this is a fantastic box. I'm so excited. The makers completely outdid themselves. So at the end of the video, I have a ton of information to go over with you guys. So for the sake of simplicity, we're gonna start off with the swatches, and then we have a special trio that is also gonna be launched by Hearts and Promises as an additional cancer awareness trio. And I'll have information on that when we get to that. And then we'll also do the Will It Topper segment at the very end per usual. And then at the very end for our recap, I'm going to go over the donation stuff. I'm going to go over the pricing information and what's going to be donated, things like that. So off the bat, let's get started and let us check out the polishes. And first up is All Mixed Up Lacquers. This is Strength Within, described as a berry base with green, blue, purple shift. So we have a delicious shimmery type of formula going on here. It's very smooth and easy to build to opacity. I was thoroughly impressed with how this performed. I think 2 to 3 coats is perfect for full coverage, though honestly I thought 2 coats was just fine on myself to cover everything up, but did want that extra thickness, so I did take it to 3, and I thought for my nail length that was ideal. This does start on quite flat, so I would suggest a good glossy top coat, and you can see on my full hand shot there just how beautiful and shimmery. Indoor lights, you'll see what you see right there, and then in shaded lights you'll easily see that gorgeous, just luminescent sort of ethereal bluish purpley sort of glow. It's really truly lovely. And next is Anchor and Heart Lacquer. This is Shine On Through, described as a medium gray crelly base with rose gold to copper to pink shifting shimmer, silver reflective glitter, and various shades of pink glitter in small and medium sizes. So this has a crelly formula. It's a little bit bouncy, but more smooth, more cream-like in my opinion. I'm going to suggest 2 coats for opacity. Honestly, I really found that the thickness is exactly what I'm going for. I had great glitter coverage on my nails too. No need for fishing or anything, so I was a little surprised that this lighter type of formula, I was happy with 2 coats for it. Now I would suggest a slightly thicker glossy top coat since the glitters are going to give you just a touch of texture. And next is Beaux Reves. This is Hopeful Heart, described as a coral leaning pink berry base with green to magenta shifting shimmer. I do agree with that description. In person, this is looking exactly like what I'm seeing on my monitor here. So just in case it gets skewed, it is a pink. However, there is a very strong tangerine orange tint to the base. The shimmer is very strong here too. I think in most lighting situations, you're going to see what you see on the video, this limey green sort of color. And then at very extreme angles, you'll see that really pretty soft magenta. And next is Coloris Carol. This is Thrive in Pink, described as a berry pink crelly with aurora shimmer, mermaid flakes, hollow flakes, and black mini shreds. So this is straight jelly goodness in my opinion. I think it builds up really nice between 2 to 3 coats depending on what you're looking for. If you want more of that stronger, darker base, true to jelly types, I think 3 coats is going to do perfect for you. Otherwise, if you just want straight up just bare minimum coverage, I think 2 coats works as well. This does have really nice flaky coverage. You can see it on my full hand shot here. It has this ghostly sort of peekaboo look between the layers. It's really pretty. I had no issues in terms of thirstiness or textures, surprisingly enough how packed this one is, but I would still suggest a good glossy top coat. And next is Crystal Knockout, You're the Star. This is described as a bright pink with matte blue and aqua glitters, including dots and stars. This one's really cute and I love these little stars. I had no issues with them poking up or anything like that. Really nice coverage there. And I know this is going to come off really skewed across monitors. So just in case, this is a shockingly vibrant pink, hot pink in person. Really, really pretty. And it built up very nice. Formula was ultra smooth and very buttery. I think 2 coats is perfect. Use the icing method on the second coat to get full coverage for those glitters and just a touch of careful placement with the stars. And Cupcake Polish brings us F Cancer. This is described as a magenta nail polish with red to orange to gold Aurora shimmer. I think the makers knocked it out of the park, not only with how pretty their polishes are, but their formulas too. These were fantastic. And this one's also a very smooth, really rich type of jelly feel application. It's like a liquefied jello before it sets. It's really nice. I think 2 to 3 coats is perfect depending on what you're looking for. Once again, a touch of visible nail line, 2 coats is perfect. More oomph factor and more opacity, of course, 3. This does plump up quite a bit, so I would suggest going in lighter on your coats to prevent over buildup and finish with a good glossy top coat. This is so strikingly shimmery good in person. You'll easily see that gold shift at angles. And next is Envy Lacquer. This is Fighter, described as a micro glitter finish with pink and gold glitter and pink to gold micro flakes. This one's capped at 100. This is gorgeous. This is one of my top picks in the box. I'm so in love with it. It's so sparkly. It's so blingy. It's wonderful. Now this has quite a bit of texture because it's micro glitter. So I would suggest going in with that icing method, which is what I'm doing here on the second coat, to adhere to the texture from the first coat, and I think you're perfect. Definitely want to finish off with a glitter smoothing top coat in addition to a glossy top coat, which is what you're seeing on my full hand shot and my swatches, and you are sparkly good to go for days. And next is Great Lakes Lacquer. This is Strength Untold, described as a vivid fuchsia shimmer with shifts of orange, gold, and green. This is lovely, shimmery goodness. Now, if you're seeing this and you're thinking, Trish, this kind of looks similar to the Cupcake, you are absolutely correct. I'm going to go out on a whim and say that it's the same shimmer. However, the bases are very different in terms of their shade of respective pink. I will have a quickie comparison on the Willet Topper section under the Great Lakes, so just stay tuned for that. Strength Untold has a wonderful formula to it. I think 3 coats is perfect. It does have a lighter feel on application, so feel free to go in normal. No need to go light. And this is shifty goodness here. This is so lovely. I was just moving my hands all over my lighting station and it was wonderful. Very, very shifty. And Hearts and Promises brings us Attitude is Everything. This is described as a lilac hollow base with pink shimmer and pink chrome flakes. So this one is a Crelly formula. It does behave a bit on the creamier side because it is quite smooth on application. It starts off on the lighter side, so I would suggest going up to 3 coats with it. No issues with dry time or dragging or anything, so I think going in normal, or even if you're heavy-handed, that's perfectly fine too. It does self-level really well, as you can see on that 3rd coat there, and it dries down quite flat, so I would suggest a good glossy top coat to finish this one off. It's got a really lovely shimmer to it that's more on the delicate side, so it gives you this very slight, almost metallic sort of look between the shimmer and the flakes. And next up is Jen and Berries. This is Surely You Chest, described as a bubblegum pink with red, orange, gold shifty shimmer and hollow flakes. So we have a delicious formula happening here too. This one's really easy to build up to opacity, very smooth on those brush strokes, and I really have to give it to Jen and Berries. I like the paddle brush here. Its performance was fantastic. Now, I'm going to suggest 3 coats on this, and that's solely for the purpose of I appreciated the extra thickness factor when I did the 3rd coat. Whenever I'm doing my nails for myself, I like that thicker look, and I thought 3 was perfect. Finish with a good glossy top coat, and this is so freaking lush. Even though it was warm toned on against my skin tone, I still thought it popped ridiculously well against me. And Leesha's Lacquer brings us Confianza. I apologize if I'm saying that incorrect. This is a silver holographic micro glitter based polish with pink micro hollow glitters and pink glitters in multiple hex shapes and sizes. I will always be a glitter gal, and this one is lovely and it's so blingy in person. This has a ton of sparkle to it, not just from the pink looking glitters that you're seeing at the forefront here, but in the background, there's a ton of silver holographic goodness happening. I'm going to suggest going up to 3 very light coats with this one, as it does have a slightly heavier formula to it, which totally understandable with all the goodies in it. And I would suggest a glitter smoothing top coat in addition to your glossy top coat. And in the sunshine, you are going to be sparkling so, so good. And next up, we've got Luna Lab Creations. This is Berres, They Need Your Support. This is described as a pink with blue hue shimmer and hollow glitters. So this one is very smooth. I would classify it more of a acrylic sort of finish. It builds very easily, and it applies almost like a metallic in how opaque and smooth it is. I would suggest going light on your coats. Don't overwork it to prevent any streaking, and you'll be good to go. The formula is incredibly forgiving, so there's no need to be, real ham or anything with your brush. This is very flattering. I thought it popped ridiculously well from the cool tones from the shimmer, finished with a good glossy top coat, and it's perfect. And next we've got Limby Designs. This is The Breast Is Yet to Come. Described as a magenta base with pink to orange shifting magnetic pull, pink to purple shifting micro flakes, and hollow micro flakies. So this has a somewhat jellier sort of formula to it. I think it's perfect if you choose to wear it at 3 coats by itself, or if you wanted to magnetize it, I would suggest maybe 2 normal to slightly heavier coats to make sure that you've got plenty of magnetic pigment on your nails when you are using your magnet. Finish with a good glossy top coat and you are perfect to go. And next we've got Monarch Lacquer. This is Pink Out, described as a bright pink with pink-orange shifting shimmer. So we have a very shimmery goodness going on here. This is opaque between 2 to 3 coats. It does start off on the much lighter side, and as you can see between the second and third coat, it builds very nice. What is giving you the opacity, in my opinion, is straight up the shimmer itself. So no need to go real light on your brush strokes or anything. This is quite forgiving too, and it is slightly softer. So if you have a really prominent free edge, then you might see a little bit of a peekaboo. Overall, the shimmer is quite strong, and at angles, you'll easily see a very warm orangey gold shift. And Music City Beauty brings us Fight Song. This is a pastel multichrome with multichrome shimmer shifting through pink, gold, green. This is what I would consider a shimmery type of cream. The cream formula is really nice. It does start off just a touch on the streakier side, and honestly, that's because it's a lighter color. When you take it up to a second and possibly third, if you have longer nails for coats, then you'll see that it self-levels wonderfully. This is such a fresh, clean, palette cleansing type of color. It's lovely. It is quite shimmery and has a touch of glow to it. I think it's just being a bit shy on the camera. It does dry down very flat though, so I would suggest a good glossy top coat. And next is Nailed It. This is Fearless, described as a taffy pink base with indigo aurora shimmer and hollow flakes. So we have a nice jelly sort of formula going on here. It's got quite a bit of a squishy factor. So with that paddle brush, you can go in lightly and just let it slowly build up. This is very glowy in person. It's really indicative on my full hand shot what I'm seeing in person here. Honestly, I thought that third coat was kind of unnecessary. In retrospect, I definitely could have stopped at the second coat. Now it does dry down on the flat side, so I would suggest a good glossy top coat to seal this one up, and you're good to go. Even though there is a touch of a warm undertone going on here, I still thought this one popped really well on me too. And Night Owl brings us Hope is Powerful. This is described as a wine tinted base with rose gold hollow micro glitters and vibrant pink peach gold shifting shimmer. This is really ridiculously sparkly in person. I'm hoping my full hand shot's going to give you guys a good idea of that. I think 3 coats is perfect. Go in lighter on your coats and just let it slowly build up. This is really, truly versatile in how you wear it. Once you guys see this one and a couple of the other ones on the Willet Topper segment, you'll definitely agree. I think this looks fantastic by itself if you want a loud, more sparkly, metallic sort of look, but this does translate well to a topper. Just spoiler alert there. I would suggest going in with a good glossy top coat to finish this one off, and I was surprised there really wasn't any grittiness to this. And next is Paradox Polish. This is 13 years cancer-free, described as a coral to rose gold pink base with a silver magnetic pigment, gold and rose gold flakes, and iridescent and hollow flakes. I've got to say Paradox does magnetics really nice with this silver looking stuff, and I really dig it. It's very ghostly and ethereal. This built up really nice for me at 2 coats. It's got a nice smooth, creamy formula, and I'm just kind of switching things up a little bit. I prefer to magnetize at the end so you guys can see what it looks like with and without, but I thought that first coat was opaque enough that I didn't need to go in with my Magic Magnetic top coat. So finish off with a good glossy top coat. There is quite a bit of movement with this one. It's lovely, and I love how contrasting it looks when you're finished and all top coated up. And Rogue Lacquer brings us Tougher Together. This is described as an orchid purple with strong pink shimmer and hollow flake prism finish. I love this one. Another one of my favorites in the box. This is so flattering, and I say that loosely given that I know and recognize I'm very warm undertoned. So this is straight cool toned goodness, and it contrasted beautifully against my skin tone. I think if you have medium to deep tones, this is going to pop on you ridiculously well too. I think 2 smooth coats is perfect. The hollow flakes take center stage, but that pinky glow in the background is wonderful too. And next we've got Sassy Pants Polish. This is Ring the Bell, described as a bright magenta polish with blue shimmer, light pink hollow glitter, and magenta hollow shreds. The maker did say that this is inspired by her dad's very recent battle with lung cancer, and she said he recently completed his chemo and radiation treatment and got to ring the bell. That is amazing. So congrats to you guys. I hope y'all got to celebrate, and I'm so happy to hear that. This one has a very jelly formula to it. I think 2 to 3 coats is perfect depending on what you're looking for. If you want that straight plumped up goodness, I think 3 coats is perfect. Otherwise, a more subdued look, I think 2 coats is also good too for full coverage in that respect. This does have that nice, really scattered hollow effect that I think is really nice against that jelly base. And Sassy Sauce brings us Focus on the Fight. This is described as a bright bubblegum pink with strong blue shimmer and glowy blue micro flakes. I think this one, at least to me, is coming off color accurate on my monitor, I dare say. So given that, I think this one is heavily flirting with being a purpley orchidy sort of fuchsia, in my opinion. It's bright. I would classify it as a neon. At least that's what I'm seeing in front of me here. It's wonderful. It's got a very creamy formula. I think 2 coats and a glossy top coat is perfect. And next we've got Sweet and Sour Lacquer. This is Remission Rocks, described as a flamingo pink curly with matte pink hexes and squares in various sizes, micro hollow flakes, and black flakes. This is so cute, and I really liked the formula of this one. No surprise here, Sweet and Sour does curlies really well. No issues with fishing or careful placement. Just go in and apply like normal and you're perfect. I think 2 to 3 coats is wonderful depending on the length of your nails. Honestly, I could have stopped at 2 coats, but I wanted to see what that 3rd coat would look like. So you can see it's definitely a little thicker. It's more plump, which is what I prefer, but I honestly could have stopped at 2 coats. Now this does dry down textured and a bit on the thirsty side, so I would suggest a good glossy top coat in addition to a glitter smoothing top coat, which is what you're seeing on my full hand shot there and on my swatches here. And next we've got Under a Hula Moon. This is Lean on Me, described as a bright eye-catching pink polish. In my opinion, this is straight up neon pink goodness. It's very vibrant, it's really in your face, and just truly lovely. The formula is ultra smooth, easy to build up. I think 2 to 3 coats is perfect. And yeah, it's great. Even on the length of my nails here, I thought 2 coats was just damn perfect. I can't say perfect enough at this point. I'm sorry. But this is fantastic. It does dry down flat because of the shimmers. So I would suggest a good glossy top coat.
And finally, we've got Zombie Claw. This is Zombies Ate My Boobs, described as a bubblegum base that glows in the dark, loaded with blue, green, pink shimmer. This is stunning, and I mean that in every which way. This is my top pick out of the box. It's shimmery goodness. The shimmer is kind of fine particled, but there's so much of it, and it just builds up so ridiculously well. This is very, very strong on that shimmer factor. So I think 2 to 3 coats is perfect. Finish with a glossy top coat, and it's just stunning.
So finally, we have the non-polish items to show you guys. This is 2 waxes that I have here in front of me, and then I have Lantern Wren's stamping plate bundle. I'm going to have a bigger image behind me of Lantern Wren's stamping plate bundle, and you can grab the bundle as a trio with the stamping card and stamper, the plate, and the black stamping polish. I have 4 different looks. I might narrow it down to 2 because 2 I wasn't loving a whole lot, but 2 I did love. So we'll see by the time I finish editing this. If I've gone over way too much time, I'll cut it down to 2. But before we get to the stamping goodies, let's talk about wax. So I do love smelly good things, and we have 2 lovely ones. So the first one I want to show you guys is Decal. They have these adorable little wax melts. So there's 6 of them in here. Let me open it up. So there's about this yay big size. In my standard warmer, I'll have a picture behind me. In my standard warmer, I would say I'd probably put 2 in there. The scent notes to these are, let's see, we've got citrus, bergamot, sandalwood, apple, marigold, jasmine, vanilla, musk. So off the bat, it smells like a man to me. It smells like a really delicious man smell. It's like very musky, very earthy. It smells like a cologne to me. It's definitely refreshing. I feel like I mostly smell bakery and fruity scents on the channel, and not mad about that. Those are my favorites, but this is delightful. And I can see my husband being all over this one. It smells like a man. It's a very masculine scent. It's lovely. The citrus is on the probably the forefront, and then we've got that woodsy sort of very masculine, like earthy, musky sort of scent below it. To me, if I had to just really describe it in the most simplistic way, I would say it smells like an aftershave. Very, very pleasant. And then next we have Luna Lab Creations. Always love her wax, and these are fantastic. They're so cute. So we've got, let me show you guys. We have 2 different shapes. We've got hearts right here. You see they're kind of thick. And we've got this shape with the pink ribbon on it. These are, let's see, this one's a pretty big bag. So while Coloris was, let's see, I'm not sure the ounces on this. When I'm putting this video together, I'll make sure to put it below me for comparisons if you're curious what the size differences are. But Luna Lab Creations, we've got 4.7 ounces here, and the scent description is watermelon, citrus, mint, and basil. So right off the bat from the bag, I'm definitely getting a really, 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 really light mint smell, but mostly forefront, I'm getting this light citrus and a stronger watermelon. So I'd say watermelon, citrus, and then there's that minty basil on the very bottom notes. It's clean, it's a touch of a splash of fruit scent to it, and it's almost like a sweet spa scent. It's very pleasant. I really like this one too. These are wonderful. So you can also grab these in the full big giant box, or you can grab them individually if you're not going to get the box. They're all there for you. So with that said, let's dive into the nail art part of the video.
And here is this year's stamping plate. If you're familiar with Lantern Wren's plate sizes, This is the same size as her other ones that she's released, so roughly the size of my hand. Mine was double wrapped, so just wanted to throw that out there. Make sure you remove that blue screen so you can get to stamping. And this is the stamper and the scraper that comes with your kit. This is a Galaxy multichrome fun jelly type of stamper. You can see through it, so if you're curious, you can definitely do some advanced stamping with it and see placement on your nails because of that hole. There are glitters, but I didn't see them being too interrupting, though I do suggest maybe taking it out of the holder if you're going to do careful placement. What also comes in the bundle too is this lovely black stamping polish. It applies more like acrylic in my opinion, so I think going in kind of heavy is perfect for getting that one coat look. Now I'm just doing straight up Dotacure stuff. I wanted to keep the nail art pretty simple and play around with the black stamping polish, and in this look I chose to show you guys the black cream applied alone. This is a really simple method that you just do various pressures of your dotting tool to get different sizes of your dots. I picked a bunch of different pink creams to kind of give that nice fun contrast, and then I chose some images off of the plate. Now, please note on my middle finger here in just a moment, I did the stamp twice. In retrospect, I should have done the stamp twice for both because my white polish that I was using was a touch on the lighter side, not the most opaque white stamping polish. So you can see full hand shot there. My middle finger is just a touch darker, which honestly is appropriate given the stamp that I used. And then for the second look, I wanted to go a little more traditional in how we see a lot of pink manis, especially ones if you're cruising around Pinterest. So this was inspired by all the ones I saw on there. I'm using the Hope stamp, and this time I'm using the black polish as a stamping polish to show you guys the opacity of how it looks on the images. I went back to my regular clear jelly stamper and I'm just doing careful placement of the words here. No issues with the words. They came out very nicely, and they were etched enough that I had no issues picking them up. Now I will note that this is a very fine etched plate, so there's a lot of little details on your images. So when you are stamping, I would suggest using a really light hand with your stamper to pick up your images because, again, super light etching means you just need to have a very delicate hand when doing it. And then we've got Ribbits and Stickits. She is bringing us this really adorable, badass Waterslide decal sheet. I decided to keep it really simple with my Waterslide mani as well, just to make sure that the words themselves spoke the loudest as opposed to any nail art, if that makes sense. So I let the words speak for themselves, and this is what I came up with. I'm using Cupcake Polish's Ooh La La as my base. This was the teaser I posted on Instagram a few weeks ago. This is lovely, and I think it all popped ridiculously well. I loved how these came out.
So the trio, to kind of conclude and round out everything that I was discussing earlier, Chrissy's good friend was diagnosed with ovarian cancer earlier this year, and she has a GoFundMe link that I'm also going to include in the description box below. My father passed away of cancer a really long time ago, and it's near and dear to my heart in that I saw how much debt, how much money that my mom was left with when he passed away. And I think it's really beautiful that Chrissy is doing this for this family. So again, I'll have the information in the description box if you want to check that out. Just really, truly lovely. So let's check out the trio benefiting them. So the first one up in the trio is Overcome Through Courage. This is a really light blue base to match up with the ribbon. I mean, all three match up with the ribbon, but this has a blue shimmer to it and a little blue glitter flecks going through it as well. This has a curly, smooth, creamy formula. I think 2 coats were perfect. It self-levels fantastic, and it dries down semi-flat. So I think honestly, any glossy top coat is perfect. Fight of Her Life. This one's my favorite out of the trio. It's really lovely, and there's a ton of versatility with it. It's, again, matching up with the ovarian cancer ribbon, and it's got lots of little shimmer flecks throughout it and blue metallic flakes too. So if you choose to wear it by itself, I'm going to suggest going up to 3 coats. If you choose to wear this as a topper, which it toppers ridiculously well, then I think going in just with a normal coat over any type of base is going to look fantastic. I'm getting ahead of myself. More on that in the Will It Toppers segment.
but it does have a bit of a squishy factor, so make sure you're not overworking your brush, and finish with a good glossy top coat. And then lastly, we've got Braver, Stronger, and Smarter. This one is a straight up teal holographic. It's a linear hollow, and it's got a ton of blue to green multi-chrome flakes floating throughout it. I think 3 light coats is perfect for opacity. If you're rocking nubbins, you might be able to get away with 2 normal coats, but if you've got any type of free edge, I would suggest going in light to normal on your brush strokes and going up to 3 coats. This is gonna shine like bananas in the sunlight and in indoor kitchen lighting and bathroom lighting, what have you, and you'll see tons of rainbows there. And then indoor and dimmer lights, you'll see the shift of the multi-chrome flakes in between your layers. And then last but not least, we've got the Will It Topper segment. This is where I use a black swatch stick to demonstrate how polishes perform over black, because if they pop over the darkest color, they will more than likely layer up really well over other undies, giving you additional ways to wear your polishes. So I realized after editing this that I went completely out of alphabetical order, so I apologize about that. We're just gonna go bananas towards the end of the video here. So this is Jen and Berres. It looks fantastic. Luna Lacquer looks awesome. I think this is also gonna topper really well too. This looks really cool. It gives it this icy sort of appearance. Music City Beauty, in my opinion, I think it's a little too much on the straight cream side, which is not a bad thing, but I think it looks really good over maybe white. Rogue looks fantastic. I'm telling you guys, the shimmer in this one was stunning. It's so glowy in person, and obviously it's very versatile too. Sassy Sauce was a surprise for me. I knew the shimmer was going to pop ridiculously well, but I was not prepared for how good the base color looks over it too. So I think this one has a ton of versatility. Envy looks really good. I think this looks so freaking beautiful in person. This makes a badass topper. I could see this going well over pretty much anything. Hearts and Promises does also have that cream sort of vibe that Music City Beauty had, but it does have just the tiniest bit of a lighter formula. Might be something there. Great Lakes looks ridiculously good. No surprise here. We have lots and lots of shimmer. You'll see this one compared with Cupcake here in just a moment. Colores de Carol toppered really well. I was very pleasantly surprised with just how good that looked over black. So I can see that this is going to look really good over pretty much any color, given that it's got that delicious jelly formula. Cupcake polish looks pretty identical to my eye, even here in person, to the Great Lakes Lacquer. So because of that, I was sitting there squinting and scrutinizing, and I was like, you know what, let's have you look at it too. So here is the comparison for both of them. I really don't see a difference in person. To me, it's the same thing. So I'm going to go out on a whim, and if you're trying to decide on both, if you're not getting the full box, I will say that their base colors are definitely different. And Monarchs looks awesome. This looks nice and vampy and gives you this more purpley sort of look to the shimmer here. All mixed up lacquers. This is so beautiful. This is really something else. If you're not getting the box, this is one that I think you might want to consider. There's a lot of versatility, but it's really shifty. Beaux Reves gives a beautiful shimmery look too, but it does have that gorgeous coral cast that's kind of retained from the base color, so definitely got some potential here. Lynn B Designs looks fantastic too, and it toppered really, really well. And Crystal Knockout, in my opinion, is a little bit more on the creamy side for it to be undied, because I just feel like you're undying an undie with this. And Zombie Claw, no surprise, beautiful, beautiful shimmery goodness here. This is lovely. I think there's a ton you can do with this one, and I'm really wanting to see this over a baby pink. Anchor and Heart is very much on the crelly side, but I was surprised. It definitely has a light enough formula that it popped really well over black. Paradox looks really, really cool. I knew this was very opaque, and it just still popped really well. So lots of versatility here. Night Owl, I told you guys, this one's going to topper really well. And I hope on your screen you can see how sparkly that is. It's definitely one that you want to be able to play around with pinks or really any color. Leesha's Lacquer, no surprise. Even though it's a packed full glitter bomb and hollow bomb, it still looks really good. So even going in really dense, I think it's got topper capabilities. Sweet and sour looks really cool. I wasn't expecting the base to still retain, but also still look really good over black. So definitely got something going here. And Hula Moon, you have potential with this one too. I think they all there's a lot you can do with these. I was very impressed that most of these you can probably layer up really well. Nailed it. Looks gorgeous. It's got this strong, ghostly, sort of blue, shimmery appearance. It's very, very pretty. And it kind of scattered the flakes enough to almost look like a topper. Sassy Pants, I thought this was going to look really good. And I was not surprised. I knew this was going to look really cool, especially with that scattered little hollow fleck effect. And then finally, we have the family shot here. You can see everyone all vamped out. And I'm going to call this their emo shot. Now for the trio, we have Braver, Stronger, and Smarter. This definitely has some topper capabilities, which I was very pleasantly surprised, given how easy it was to build up for a jelly. Overcome Through Courage, we have the cream issue going on here too. So I don't know, I see topper capabilities even though it looks very much like a true cream base. And Fight for Her Life, another one I previously mentioned was going to look fantastic as a topper, and no surprise. There's a ton you can do with this one, and it looks really, really cool over black. And then finally, we have the Trio's emo shot here. They look really, really good.
Okay, so lastly, we have to go over all of the pricing information. I think I've got all of my details and stuff written in front of me here so I don't get anything wrong. For the sake of being, super, I know this is so much, but for the sake of being really crystal clear, again, my description box is going to have all of this stuff broken down, including links and pricing and all that. So straight from my mouth, I guess, is the pricing. So the prices of the box, you can grab them individually, and the polishes themselves are $13 each. $1 of each polish is going to be donated from purchase of this. And the boxes, if you choose to get a box, $15 of every box is going to go to the BCRF, Breast Cancer Research Foundation. I'll have a link for that below too if you want more information on that. The box itself, if you wanted just the polished box, those are going to be $275. That's a savings of $37 because each of the polishes comes out to a little over $11. And if you wanted the full box, including the waxes, the polishes, the extra goodies, and the stamping stuff, it's the whole shebang. And I'm telling you, that's a badass box to open up. Just pink, beautiful tissue paper. And it's wonderful. The full box is $325. So I know that seems like it's a little bit more than what it has been in the previous years. But we have a much, much bigger box this year. So just throwing that out there. And then the pre-order is going to start September 3rd through September 10th. And you can join the Breast Cancer Awareness Box Facebook group if you'd like to have, if you're like me and you need reminders, you can join the event in there if you want your reminder, and you can see additional swatches from other swatchers and all that good stuff. So I'm going to have the Facebook link below for you guys. This is all going to be launching on Hearts and Promises website, which I'll also link below if you want to get that up in your browser, what have you. Again, some of these are capped, so don't forget that. It's just the nature of things. It's indie polish, and these beautiful people have to order all kinds of supplies and their time and all that. So I'll have all this in the description box. How many times can I say that? Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys do participate. I think this is a really cool, just amazing thing that Chrissy does every single year. And I'm feeling always a certain type of way about it, especially with my parental history myself. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Again, timestamps if you need to go back. And if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching.